My girlfriend said at dinner with her friends, he's just a placeholder until someone better comes along. I heard her from the bathroom. I came back, paid my half of the bill, and said, good luck. Then I had the utilities switched to her name only. 48 hours later, she was calling saying she couldn't afford our apartment. Original post: I, 27 male, overheard the end of my relationship last Thursday night. Been with Madison, 26, for 2 years, living together for 8 months. We split everything 50-50. Rent, utilities, groceries. I make about $75,000 as a software developer. She makes around $45,000 in marketing. We were at this trendy restaurant downtown with her 3 best friends, Ashley, Brittany, and Kayla. Girls' night out plus the boyfriend. You know the drill. I excused myself to the bathroom after we ordered. The table was near the hallway to the restrooms, and as I was walking back, I heard my name. Madison's voice, crystal clear. Jason's sweet and all, but let's be real. He's just a placeholder until someone better comes along. Ashley laughed. Girl, you're terrible. What? I'm being honest. He pays half of everything. He's reliable. He's not awful to look at. But marriage material? Please. I'm just comfortable right now. How much longer are you going to string him along? Until something better shows up. Why struggle with rent when I don't have to? I stood frozen in that hallway. 2 years. 2 years of my life, and I'm a walking wallet with adequate looks. Took a deep breath. Walked back to the table like nothing happened. Madison smiled at me, grabbed my hand, the same hand she'd been holding 5 minutes ago while calling me a placeholder. Our food arrived. I ate mechanically, participated in conversation, smiled at appropriate times. When the check came, I pulled out my card. Just my portion, please, I told the waiter, pointing to my entree and drink. Madison blinked. Babe, we usually just split it. Not tonight. I stood up, looked her dead in the eyes. Good luck finding something better, Madison. The table went silent. I put down exact cash for my meal plus tip and walked out. My phone exploded before I even reached my car. Ignored it all. Drove home, packed an overnight bag, crashed at my buddy Eric's place. Friday morning, 8 a.m. sharp, I was on the phone with the utility companies. Everything was in my name because I'd moved in first. Gas, electric, internet, all of it. I need to transfer service to Madison Rodriguez, effective immediately. Sir, we'll need her authorization. She's on the account count as an authorized user. She lives there. I'm moving out. It took some back and forth, but I got it done. Gas and electric would switch Monday. Internet transferred immediately since it was month to month. I also canceled my portion of the streaming services we shared. Then I texted Madison, utilities are being transferred to your name. I'll be by tomorrow to get my stuff. Her response was instantaneous. Jason, WTF, we need to talk. Blocked. Saturday I showed up with Eric in his pickup truck. Madison was there with Brittany, both looking ready for battle. Jason, you're being ridiculous. It was just girl talk. Girl talk where you admitted I'm a placeholder you're using for financial convenience? Brittany jumped in. Everyone says things they don't mean sometimes. She meant it though. That's the problem. Loaded my gaming setup, my TV, my kitchen stuff. I'd bought most of it, my furniture from the bedroom. The apartment looked pretty bare when we were done. Madison started panic rambling. You can't just leave. Rent is due in 2 weeks. I can't afford $2,400 by myself. Should have thought about that before treating me like a financial placeholder. I make $45K. After taxes, that's like $2,900 a month. Rent alone would be 80% of my income. Sounds like a you problem. Good luck. Monday morning, 7:23 a.m., my phone rang from an unknown number. It was Madison, crying. The power company says I need a $400 deposit because I have no credit history with them. The gas company wants $300. I don't have $700 just sitting around. I hung up. Update 1. It's been a week since the restaurant incident, and the entitlement has reached astronomical levels. First, Madison tried the emotional manipulation route. Got her mom, Patricia, to call me. This woman who'd been nothing but sweet to me for 2 years suddenly turned into a harridan. Jason, how dare you abandon my daughter like this? Over a misunderstanding. Patricia, she literally said I'm a placeholder she's using for financial convenience. She didn't mean it that way. How else could he's just a placeholder until someone better comes along mean? You're supposed to love her unconditionally. That's not how love works, Patricia. That's how being a doormat works. She called me several creative names before I hung up. Then came the social media campaign. Madison posted this sob story about how I financially abused her by suddenly transferring utilities without warning, leaving her in a dangerous situation. Her friends piled on in the comments about toxic masculinity and fragile male egos. I posted one response. Interesting how planning to leave me for someone better while using me for rent money isn't considered financial abuse. Then, I posted the screenshot I'd wisely taken of her utility account, showing her as an authorized user for the past 8 months. The post disappeared within an hour. Tuesday, Madison's dad, Robert, showed up at my work. Security called me down to the lobby. Jason, let's handle this like men. Okay. Madison made a mistake. She's young. She says stupid things. You're really gonna ruin her life over words? I'm not ruining anything. I'm just no longer subsidizing it. She can't afford that apartment. Then she should move. She shouldn't have to uproot her life because you got your feelings hurt. My feelings? I laughed. Robert, your daughter admitted she's been using me as a human ATM while shopping for my replacement. That's not hurt feelings, that's fraud. I'll sue you for breach of oral contract. What contract? The one where she pretends to love me in exchange for half her bills? Please do. I'd love to see that in court. He stormed out. Wednesday brought the nuclear option. Madison showed up at Eric's place at 11 p.m., drunk, with Ashley and Qley in tow. I know you're in there, Jason. We need to talk. Eric looked at me. Want me to call the cops? Nah, let's see this play out. I went to the door, didn't open it. Madison, you're drunk. Go home. I am home. You're my home. I love you. You love my wallet. That's not true. I said something stupid. Haven't you ever said something you didn't mean? The thing is, Madison, you did mean it. You meant every word. You're just upset you got caught. She started ugly crying. Ashley tried a different approach. Jason, be reasonable. Madison's about to lose the apartment. Her credit will be ruined. And it's your fault. How is her inability to afford her lifestyle my fault? You knew she couldn't afford it alone when you left. Yeah, that's typically what happens when you tell your meal ticket they're temporary. Qley jumped in. You're being petty and vindictive. I'm being logical. She viewed our relationship as a financial arrangement. I terminated the arrangement. Simple business. Madison wailed louder. I'll be homeless. No, you'll just have to get a cheaper apartment, or a roommate, or move back with your parents who seem very concerned about your welfare. This is financial abuse. Eric couldn't help himself. He laughed. Lady, you literally admitted to financially abusing him. They left after another 10 minutes of dramatics, but not before Madison sent one final text. You ruined my life. I'll never forgive you for this. Thursday afternoon, I got a call from our former landlord, Mr. Tiber Peterson, blessing of a man. Jason, Madison's trying to break the lease, says you abandoned her and she can't afford it. I'm still on the lease, Mr. Peterson. I'll pay my half through the end. That's what I told her. She said she's going to sue you for the other half. She can try. Between you and me, son, I heard what she said about you from Ashley. She's my neighbor's daughter. You did the right thing. Madison's been telling people for months she was waiting for someone with more money. Well, that was validating in the most painful way possible. Friday, the utilities got shut off. Madison had never paid the deposits. She called me screaming. I'm sitting in the dark, no power, no internet. This is insane. Did you pay the deposits? I couldn't afford them. Then pay them now. I can't. Rent is due Monday and I only have $1,800. Sounds like you need to make some choices. You're evil. You're destroying my life out of spite. Madison, I'm literally just not paying your bills anymore. That's not spite, that's boundaries. She hung up on me. Update 2. Week 2 brought out Madison's true colors in spectacular fashion. Saturday morning, she tried a new strategy. Showed up at my company's parking lot looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Full makeup, the sundress I'd bought her for her birthday, her hair done exactly how I used to compliment it. Jason, can we talk? Please? We're talking, I mean really talk, about us. There is no us. She stepped closer, put her hand on my chest. I miss you, I miss us, I was an idiot. You were honest. For once. I wasn't. I was showing off for my friends. You know how Ashley is, she's always bragging about guys throwing money at her. I just wanted to sound cool. By degrading me? I didn't mean it. She actually teared up. Jason, please, I love you. We can work through this. Madison, you just tried to seduce me in a parking lot to get me to pay your bills. That's not love, that's prostitution. The mask dropped. Her face went from tearful to venomous in half a second. You bastard. You're really gonna let me become homeless? You're not becoming homeless. You're becoming responsible for yourself. I'll tell everyone you abused me. Go ahead. I have screenshots of your authorized user status on all utilities for 8 months. I have texts of you acknowledging the relationship was fine until that dinner. I have witnesses to what you said. She stomped off, but not before keying my car. Thank God for parking lot cameras. Sunday, her friend Brittany tried playing mediator. Called me up, all sweet. Jason, honey, let's be adults about this. Madison's learned her lesson. What lesson? That actions have consequences? She knows she messed up, but destroying her life isn't proportional to some silly words. Brittany, if the words were silly, why is everyone so upset that I took them seriously? You know what I mean. I really don't. She said I'm temporary. I made it permanent. Problem solved. She's going to have to move back with her parents. Okay. In their basement. And? She's 26. It's humiliating. More humiliating than finding out your girlfriend thinks you're a walking ATM? She hung up. Monday D-Day for rent. Madison had 48 hours to pay or face late fees. Tuesday evening, I got a call from Ashley. You win, okay? You win. She can't pay rent. She's packing. I didn't win anything. I lost 2 years with someone who was using me. Oh please, like you didn't benefit. She cooked for you, cleaned, slept with you. Are you seriously listing basic relationship activities as transactions? You got what you wanted out of it too. I wanted a partner. I got a dependent who was shopping for my replacement. You're such a victim. No, I'm just not an ATM anymore. Wednesday, the mass texts started. Madison sent the same message to literally everyone we mutually knew. Jason abandoned me with no warning, transferred all utilities to my name without telling me, and is refusing to help with rent despite knowing I can't afford it alone. This is financial abuse, and I'm considering legal action. My response to the group. Madison announced to her friends that I'm just a placeholder until someone better comes along and that she was using me for financial convenience. I chose to stop being used. All utilities were in my name. She was an authorized user for 8 months. I gave her 3 days notice about the transfer. I'm still paying my half of rent through the lease. This is called consequences, not abuse. The group chat exploded. Some people sided with her, some with me, most just wanted popcorn. Thursday, I got served. Actually served. Madison found some ambulance chaser to file a civil suit for promissory estoppel and unjust enrichment. The lawsuit claimed I had promised to support her financially and she had relied on that promise to her detriment. I took it straight to my cousin who's a lawyer. He laughed for 5 minutes straight. She admitted, with witnesses, that she was using you temporarily for money. She wants to sue you for stopping that arrangement. This is incredible. I'm taking this case pro bono just for the entertainment value. Friday morning, Madison's dad called again. Drop the attitude and help my daughter or we're going forward with the lawsuit. Robert, your daughter admitted to fraud. She entered a relationship under false pretenses for financial gain. I could countersue for emotional damages and probably win. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Silence. Then, what if we pay you back for the utilities? Call it even? There's nothing to call even. I'm done subsidizing Madison's lifestyle. You're really gonna make her move home? I'm not making her do anything. Her choices are. That evening, I heard from Mr. Peterson that Madison had officially broken the lease and forfeited her security deposit. She was moving out that weekend. Final update. It's been a month since the restaurant incident. Time for the final update on this disaster. Madison moved back with her parents 2 weeks ago, but not before one last extinction burst of entitlement that was truly spectacular. The day before move-out, she hosted a moving party and invited all our mutual friends. Posted it on social media as celebrating new beginnings after surviving financial abuse. About 15 people showed up to help her pack and hear her victim story. Eric was there. He's friends with everyone. And gave me the play-by-play. Madison held court in the empty living room, telling everyone how I'd trapped her in an expensive apartment knowing she couldn't afford it alone, then vindictively abandoned her. He literally changed everything to my name while I was at work. No warning. Eric couldn't resist. Didn't you have 3 days warning? Whose side are you on? The truths. She apparently went on a 20-minute rant about how men use financial power to control women, how I'd isolated her from cheaper housing options, and how the system was rigged against her. Then someone asked the question, wait, why did he leave though? Dead silence. Madison tried to deflect. We had a disagreement. Ashley, drunk on cheap wine, laughed. Girl, tell them what you really said. Madison went pale. Kayla tried to shush Ashley, but drunk Ashley was on a roll. She called him a placeholder. Said she was just using him until someone better came along. At dinner, while he was in the bathroom, it was savage. The room got very quiet. A few people started making excuses to leave. Madison tried damage control. It was taken out of context. What context? Eric asked. The context where you were using him for money while looking for someone richer. The party ended shortly after that, but Madison wasn't done. That weekend, she created a GoFundMe titled, Help Me Rebuild After Financial Abuse. Goal, $5,000. Description, a 3-paragraph sob story about how her ex-boyfriend strategically abandoned her with no warning, leaving her homeless and in debt. She raised $127, all from her mom. My cousin sent her lawyer a cease and desist letter regarding the false accusations of abuse and the GoFundMe fraud. The page came down within 24 hours. Then came the last, desperate play. Madison showed up at my new apartment. I'd finally gotten my own place with a proposition. She was dressed to kill, holding a bottle of my favorite whiskey. Hear me out. No. Jason, please. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I know I messed up. I said horrible things, but we were good together, weren't we? For 2 years? I thought we were. You were apparently just comfortable. I was stupid. I was influenced by Ashley and her gold digger mentality. So it's Ashley's fault? No, I take responsibility. But Jason, think about it. We could start over, fresh. I'll get my own place, we can date properly, build back trust. Madison, you just tried to crowdfund your bills while calling me an abuser. What trust? She switched tactics. Okay, what if we just go back to how things were? I'll move back in, we split everything. You mean I pay half of everything while you look for my replacement? I won't, I swear. I learned my lesson. What lesson? That you need to be more careful about what you say when I might hear? Her final form emerged. The real Madison. You're really going to throw away 2 years over one comment? Yes. You're pathetic. You know that? A real man would fight for the relationship. A real partner wouldn't call me a placeholder. I gave you the best 2 years of my life. No, you gave me 2 years of lies while waiting for someone richer. You'll never find anyone like me. That's the goal. She threw the whiskey bottle at my door and stormed off. It didn't break, so... Free whiskey, I guess? The aftermath? Madison is living in her parents' basement, working the same job, complaining on social media about how impossible the rental market is. Her friends have distanced themselves after the party incident. Ashley actually apologized to me via text for encouraging Madison's gold digger phase. Didn't respond, but it was interesting. Robert and Patricia still think I'm Satan incarnate, but they're also apparently charging Madison $500 per month rent, so that's ironic. The lawsuit was dropped after my cousin counter-threatened with a fraud case. Madison's lawyer apparently told her she had no case and was lucky I wasn't suing her. Mr. Peterson kept my half of the security deposit as agreed and returned it to me. He also told me Madison tried to claim damages to get her deposit back, but he had photos from before proving everything was already worn. As for me, I'm doing okay. Living alone for the first time in a while is weird but peaceful. No more walking on eggshells, no more wondering if my partner actually loves me or just my wallet. Started therapy to work through the trust issues this whole thing created. My cousin framed the threatening legal letter Madison's lawyer sent. He calls it the most entitled piece of fiction he's ever read. It's hanging in his office. Looking back, the red flags were there. The way she'd joke about marrying rich, how she'd get irritated when I suggested cheaper date options, how she followed multiple hypergamy influencers on Instagram. I just thought it was harmless fun. Lesson learned. The funniest part? Last week, Brittany reached out. Apparently, Madison had been telling everyone for months that she was settling with me and waiting for something better. Multiple people knew, and no one told me. Really makes you reconsider who your friends are. But the absolute peak happened yesterday. Madison texted from a new number. I know you hate me, but I wanted you to know. Trevor asked me out, and I said no because I realized what I had with you was real. I choose you. Trevor is her coworker who makes $150. I looked him up on LinkedIn. He's married. I replied, Trevor Martinez? The one with the wedding ring? No response. Some people never learn. Anyway, that's the end of this saga. To everyone saying I was too harsh, I disagree. I spent 2 years building a life with someone who saw me as temporary furniture. The least I could do was take myself out of the equation and let her figure out her own life. To the people asking if I regret it, only that I didn't hear her comment sooner. Could have saved myself a lot of time and money. Thanks for following along. I'm gonna go enjoy my overpriced apartment in peace. Peace out. Edit. Since many asked, yes, everything was legal. No, I don't feel bad. She admitted to using me while looking for someone better. The only thing I did was stop being used. If that ruined her life, maybe her life was built on a pretty shaky foundation to begin with.